Having covered the basics of entering data into Excel, be it text, numbers, dates, times, etc., you will also need to edit the contents of cells. So taking our sample file here, we have a cell with my first name in. If I were to just click on that cell and type my surname and then return, it actually replaces the contents of the cell. So I want to actually not replace the contents of the cell, but enter extra content into that cell. And there are a couple of methods of getting into the cell to do that. Firstly, I need to go to the cell, and then I can either click up here in the formula bar, and then I can add in the extra, and then return to accept that. And you can see my surname has now been added in without the need to retype my first name. Or I can click on and then double click, and you'll see I'm actually editing the contents of that cell on the screen. My cursor's flashing now. That would then allow me to enter my middle name and enter to accept the changes. And the third method is to get to the cell and then F2 on the keyboard, and you'll see that enters the cell for editing right at the end. But I can move to the beginning and actually replace Guy with my full first name and then enter. So it's get to the cell and F2, make any changes, enter or tab, get to the cell, double click and make any changes, and again tab, enter to come out, or get to the cell and do the editing up here in the formula bar. You'll probably find that you use any of those three options depending on whether your hand's on the mouse or the keyboard at the time, or depending on the content of the cell. There might be a lot of content in the cell, in which case that is a lot easier to edit up in the formula bar than actually on the screen. If it's a small change to a single cell, then that could be done on the screen. So it's F2, keyboard shortcut to get into a cell, double click to get into a cell, or click up in the formula bar. Any one of three methods to get in and edit the contents of a cell, regardless of its content. So we could go to this one here, which has got the 4 zeros 45, and I realize it's got too many zeros. And F2 to get in, move through the cell, delete one of the extra zeros, tab out for those changes to be accepted.